with you, and today I'm doing something a little bit different. I always say that, I feel, these days. But I'm making two cards with the Inlovearts, the dies about the forest, and I figured I would make one that would look more Christmassy and the other one that would look more masculine, that could be used for any type of occasion. So we're going to be using that. We're going to need the big shot for the first pass with the big background, because that background won't cut with just the small sidekick, but the rest will cut with the sidekick. And I figured we needed to have a base, and because this is a bit small on top of that, but if I put it on top of this, it would be perfect. So this is going to be for my card that's going to be more Christmassy, and we'll just cut it so that it's straight, because right now it's not. And so we're going to start with that. Cut off the edges, because sometimes when you buy card base, the edge is not perfectly straight. Okay, so that one's pretty good. And then we're just gonna decide where I'm gonna cut. So I would like this to be pretty much the same size, maybe all around. My nephew is coming with my son for supper, so the dogs are excited. That's what happens. Okay, so here we go. So that's one for Christmas. And then for the other one, I figured technically the sky would be blue, and that's how I decided that I was gonna go with a pale blue for this one. It could have gone either way, but I figured, why not? Pale blue. That's what I had in my scraps, so that's what I'm using. I love using my scraps as much as possible. That's always my go-to if I can. And thank God I wasn't gluing the card, because it was the wrong way. I hate when that happens. Okay, so we need we're gonna have one green for the summertime, and it was just the perfect size. And then we're gonna have the brown for the winter time, because obviously there's not going to be leaves in the trees, and obviously I could go and very detailed and decide I want the trunks to be brown. We shall see. I'm not sure if I'm going to go that detail or not. I will see, I guess, as I'm putting it together. I will see what I prefer. Okay, so here's the frame. So cut very easily. Everything's perfect. Looks amazing. Ouch! That was my finger. It's very magnetic. And the dye like caught my finger. Okay, so trying to remove all the little pieces from the dye. I think I did pretty good. Then I will do the same thing. You can see how strong this thing is, and you can understand why it hurt when it stabbed my finger. Okay, so let's do this with the brown. So this is going to be the brown base. And I'm wondering, because I'm putting the deer, and the deer is brown. So I'm wondering if I could do I can't seem to talk at the same time as I clean my dye. Sorry about that. I'm wondering if I could do the deer in the middle of this, because the deer is the one I'm going to be doing. And I need my little pliers. Remove the little extra parts. Whoops. Okay, so that's that. So I'm thinking I could put the deer in. Could I? Would the deer fit? Guess not. Because I was thinking I need to do the deer, which is this. Oh, but then I could just put it a little bit upside. Because I just need a few of the branches. Let's try that. I mean, the worst that's going to happen is it's not going to work out, right? But if it does, then that might be a cool look. Okay, so got the deer. Let's not lose a deer. And I'm done with the big shot, so I can move that aside, because it takes a whole lot of room on my table, clearly. I try to leave the plate with it, so that I'm not looking for them later. Okay, so this is my wood scene. So I'm thinking of putting the wood scene like this. I could have gone with a different blue. Just feel like the white would have been a bit too much, like not enough of contrast, or like something to anchor it. That was my reasoning behind this. But you can do whichever way you want. Obviously this is my first time using it, so I might, you know, do things one way now and figure out that I would have preferred it in a different fashion at a later date. But for now, this is how it's gonna be. Okay, so we've got that, and what I was thinking with this part now, I'm gonna have to clean my dye again, clearly. But I'm thinking I could cut it here. cut it here, here, like so. Whoops. And I'm putting a bit too much glue, but it's okay, it's gonna dry clear. This is the part that's finicky. You clearly don't have to do this if you don't want to. I just think it might give a nice look to this. It's an experiment. I'm kind of experimenting, as I said. So you can go detail or not. Up to you how you want to play this. I just feel like it gives it a little bit more depth. And then we've got the little deer. And put a lot of glue. That's okay. Like I said, it's gonna dry clear, so it doesn't really matter. And I'm just gonna add a little eye here. And detail. Just to add a little bit more. Now, do I want to put a message? I do have hello here. And you could put as much depth as you want. Like I could add more leaves or whatever to the bottom, but I'm not sure that I really want to. I kind of want it simple. I'm thinking maybe with this I can do a hello with this, and I want a black bear for Christmas, my Christmas card. So I'm gonna put the bear, and I'm gonna put the hello, and I'm gonna run that through. Okay, and I've got my bear. The bear is going to go in my winter scene. I think I'm going to leave it as it is. Just like that. Very simple. I don't feel like you need to have a ton of things for a more masculine card. That's my opinion. I mean, you can go out as crazy as you want or not, but I feel like simple is often the best. So that's my take on it. Okay, so then for this one I want to use the trees. I want to put some Christmas trees to the background. So I will build it up a little bit more. So I'm going to put that down. And obviously I'm not putting a polar bear, and the reason I'm not putting a polar bear is because honestly, like, they would be with the icebergs. They wouldn't be in the middle of a forest, even in the winter time. And actually bears in general in the winter time would be sleeping, but I decided to go with the bear instead of the reindeer. I could have gone with the reindeer, but because of the fact that I was already doing the brown, I just felt like it was, I don't know, it didn't feel right. But maybe that would have been the best to do the reindeer. Maybe the bear is going to look strange because obviously it would be sleeping. It wouldn't be roaming around in the winter time. Especially black bears. So let's see with the trees if it would make a difference and would be okay to put the deer in front. That was my reasoning. Eek! My reasoning, but like I said, now that I'm thinking out loud, thinking that it's not the best of ideas if you want it to look realistic anyway. So I'm thinking maybe what I'm gonna do is do this and run another set of 3 trees. And then put the deer. And I wonder if in my scraps I have enough to do another deer, or I need to run another piece. What's funny with these is you can experiment and you can do and just have fun and create your own type of background and stuff. You don't have to go with a specific objective in mind. Does a deer fit in here? It would be so perfect if it did. I think it barely does. I did dig through my bin again, in case you're wondering. It did. And so, like, I've used up my scraps to the maximum that I could possibly use them. I love when that happens. I love that. Okay, so change of plans. We're gonna go with a deer because that makes more sense. I could have gone with the black bear in the summertime. I don't know. I didn't feel like it was the right thing. Okay. Here we go, and then I'm gonna put the deer in the front. I want him in front of the forest. Hopefully this will dry. If it doesn't, I'll put a sentiment down there, so it's not gonna matter all that much. So that's the last of them. I'm not as pleased with this one as I could have been, but that's okay. It's experimenting. It's only paper, and that doesn't really matter. At least I've experimented and I've tried and I decided and played with the paper, and that's what I encourage you to do. You know, try it. Because the worst that's going to happen is you're not going to like it. But if you don't try it, you'll never know. And sometimes you make amazing discoveries and sometimes not so much. And that happens, and it's part of life. What I could have done too is here, instead of going with the brown, what would have been really pretty is doing the same thing as I did here, but with the white. That would have been the ideal situation to do. And that's what I didn't do, and honestly, like, that would make such a different card. But it's, you know, it's part of life. And see, as I'm looking at it, I'm finding new ideas. So I hope that it encourages you to try out stuff, and that you can see, you know, the first time is not always the best, but continue trying. Love you guys. See you soon. Bye.